2. Welcome, everybody, to the Sitshow with Krisko, where Jeff Krisko, Football Absurdity's Jeff Krisko, tells you who to start and who to sit and answers your advice live. Jeff, what it is, boss?
It is what it is. Start everybody who's good, sit everybody who's bad. We got some preliminary injury reports here this week. We got Trevor Lawrence coming back for the Jags, so that's sorry, Mac Jones, but you just weren't it. For the running backs here, we got Breece Hall, who was questionable this week to play. That he is going to be in. It is a tough matchup for him. Then we got Tyjae Spears. I don't think he'll do much except take away a little bit from Tony Pollard. And then some guys that are in confirmed: Drake London, Alec Pierce, who is dealing with a hip injury, is going to be playing. Guys that aren't going to be playing this week: Austin Ekeler is out. He's on the IR. Dearness Johnson and Josh Kelley. Those are more impactful for guys like Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne. And then for Josh Kelley, he's the RB3 in Tennessee. So a little bit more for Tyjae Spears there. For the wide receivers out: Josh Downs, KJ Osborn, Jalen Coker, Johnny Wilson. Johnny Wilson's only impactful because DeVonta Smith is expected out, so it's going to be a lot of A.J. Brown this week. Josh Downs not playing means probably more Michael Pittman, but it is a difficult matchup against the Patriots, who have been, over the last 5 weeks, they have allowed one of the lowest passing production to quarterbacks. Hate Crime Higbee is not playing, neither is Jatavian Sanders. Expected in, both Baker Mayfield, who is dealing with the stigma this week, and Brock Purdy, who missed last week with a shoulder injury. Both those guys are expected to play this week. So, Evan, how's that data dump going?
It is gone. Done. I did it.
Okay. Data dumped. How's it going?
Okay, I just did the math, and I realized I've clinched a spot in my Big Money League playoffs. So that's a
nice
ray of sunshine in a bad football weekend.
Yeah, I locked up the number 1 seed in my home league, so I don't even have to check it this week. I'm not even doing anything in that league this week. It feels really weird to just not be worrying about it. But yeah, my gambit in that league was to make sure that week 14 didn't matter, because I'm very Ravens heavy in that league. So a week 14 bye that I was fighting for position is going to be disastrous for me. But I didn't have to do it. I am fighting for my life in Football Absurdity, where I'm in 7th place with the most points scored. Walker said it's retribution for getting the 11th most points last year and winning the league. So the fantasy gods giveth and they taketh away, I suppose.
That is true. Now I'm pulling up that league to see, because that's one of the leagues I don't check a lot. Who's getting relegated? Waleed might get relegated.
Waleed, I think, Waleed's getting relegated.
He's a half game out of relegation. But for those who don't know, we have an experts league where the bottom 2 get kicked out and have to play in a smaller league to get back in. And it is fun.
Yeah, I'm never getting relegated. Ever. I won't allow it.
Oh, yeah, I'm on the bubble, too. Well.
Oh, boy. My tiebreaker in my Devi League with Mike is Tommy DeVito. That didn't work out. I forgot to set my lineup this week.
Thank you, T-Bills. Appreciate the compliment. He's calling a 49ers upset tonight.
Oh, my God. You know how happy I would be? I don't expect it to happen, but I would be thrilled if it does. What they did in the snow last week did not really, not even in the snow, just in the cold, did not really make me excited for tonight's game, and what may or may not be a snow game. It's sounding like the snow is going to be done, but it's just going to be cold as hell. Which actually, that brings me to my boom players of the week. My Costco guys double chocolate chunk cookie approved boom players of the week. Brought to you by the Rizzler. We got.
Really quick, we have a question. Can I interrupt here? 6-point passing.
Yeah, absolutely.
6-point passing touchdowns. Herbert at Atlanta or Burrow versus Pittsburgh.
This might answer your question. Justin Herbert is my boom quarterback of the week.
Oh, I see. That's how. Yes, that's a segue.
That's a segue, baby. Falcons are allowing the second most fantasy points to quarterbacks over the last 5 weeks. We saw last week what should have been a bigger game for Justin Herbert, but Quentin Johnston did Quentin Johnston things. So it was kind of betrayed for him. Lad McConkey's coming on. He's my boom quarterback of the week. If you don't like that boom quarterback, I also really like C.J. Stroud this week going up against the Jags. For the running backs, kind of tied into what I was talking about with watching the 49ers try to tackle in the cold. It's James Cook. So James Cook going up against San Francisco, who will be without Nick Bosa, and who Fred Warner revealed has been playing through a broken ankle since week 4. NFL players are just built differently.
Wow.
I really appreciate all of Niners Twitter talking about how the team has no heart. He's playing through a broken ankle, guys. Why don't you get it together? So I think James Cook's in for a big day. I said on the podcast this week, 2 touchdowns for James Cook this week. So he's my boom running back of the week. My boom wide receiver, it's Brian Thomas Jr. getting Trevor Lawrence back, going up against this Houston defense that's been kind of faulty lately. Top 5 on the day. That's taken out KC, who played on Friday. They are the 5th most fantasy points allowed to wide receivers. So I like BTJ this week. I also like Drake London going up against the Chargers. For tight end, it's a rough week for tight ends again. So you've got Vegas, who already played. You've got Cleveland, who is taking on question mark. Who's the tight end in Denver? Nobody knows. Greg Dulcich got cut. So that leaves me with K. Dotton. K. Dotton, who was very quiet last week. I think he gets more involved this week. And I think that we get some good fantasy production out of K. Dotton. And then after him, it's nobody. Miami already played Tampa Bay's going up against Carolina with Jatavian Sanders out. And then Pat Freiermuth is my next guy. So that's my boom players of the week. I've got Justin Herbert / CJ Stroud. I couldn't decide. James Cook, Brian Thomas Jr., and K. Dotton for my Rizzler approved double chocolate chunk cookie boom players of the week.
Here's a delightful question. Flex 3. Amari Cooper, Ray McLeod, MVS, Devon Vale, Westbrook
Devon Vele.
Westbrook Akine, or Chris Boswell and Kaimi Fairbairn. Yes, they can flex a kicker.
Oh my God. Kaimi Fairbairn and Chris Boswell. This question is the most I've thought about kickers in years. Start 3. I would start Devon Vele. Devon Vele has been a wide receiver 29 over the last 3 weeks, and also has a, if I'm remembering correctly, pretty decent matchup. Hold on, I'm checking my notes here. It is neutral. He has a neutral matchup this week, so I'll go with Devon Vele. I would go with, oh my God, this is rough. Amari Cooper, probably, just out of those guys, just because I don't trust Ray McLeod. He is the wide receiver 3 there in a team that does have a strong tight end and a pass catching running back. So Ray does give me a little bit of pause. And then I would, Nick Westbrook Akine and MVS are both in bottom 10 matchups this week. I would say, let's go. If you need the chaos factor, we'll go MVS. He has taken over that Rashid Shaheed role for the Saints, the deep ball threat. He has, I think, 3 touchdowns in 2 games. So I would go with him as your third guy. If you need the floor, I would probably say we'll go with, I would say I'm trying to decide between Fairbairn and Boswell. Pittsburgh's got the, I'll go with Chris Boswell.
Yeah,
that should be a lot of kicking.
that's fun.
If the Steelers have their way, it's going to be 16-18, just like last week.
Thanks for the thorough answer. Pick 2 non-PPR, 0 PPR, Cup, James Conner, Najee, or Chubb. Pick 2.
I would say, so non-PPR does change things, but Conner and Najee both have really bad matchups this week for running backs. The Bengals allow the 5th fewest fantasy points to running backs over the last 5 weeks. I do like to look at the last 5 weeks. And then for James Conner, you're looking at Minnesota, who actually allows the fewest fantasy points over the last 5 weeks. So that's a problem. So I would stick with Cup. And then Nick Chubb was not super efficient, but going up against the Broncos, it's not a team that you can really pass on. So if they get around the goal line, I'd probably say I'm going to go with do I want to go with Nick Chubb? You know what? I'm not going to outthink myself. I'm going to go with Cup and Connor. Nick Chubb hasn't been great lately. Najee and Connor don't have great matchups, but Connor just got that contract. They're going to give him a bunch of touches. So I'm going to go with Cup and Connor. Cup's kind of the easy one for me on this one because he could easily have 115 yards or like 85 and a touchdown in this week. They have the second best matchup for wide receivers. And then Connor, Najee, Chubb, I would say go with your gut. My gut says James Conner. But we forgot to give the I realize we haven't said it this year that go with your gut. We give you the tools, but trust yourself. Mine says James Conner, but if you want to get away from the matchup, Nick Chubb, Najee's in a bad matchup and he's splitting with Jalen Warren. So they're all like RB 20 to 30 in Walker's ranks this week, though.
A-Rich at New England or Jaden Daniels versus the Titans?
Those are both tough matchups, and both tough decisions. We saw Jaden Daniels kind of fall apart last week until they flipped the bozo switch in that game. That game was 9-10 entering the fourth quarter, Evan. The Commanders game.
Oh yeah,
the final score was like 35-27.
That was wild.
Something like that.
That was a fun
so
watch.
before they flip, but then Anthony is buffering. Is it? Do we know if it's dead?
It's buffered. It seems to be getting.
Oh no,
better.
we're back. We're buffered. Yeah, we're back. I lost where I was because of the buffering. Anthony Richardson versus Jaden Daniels. Neither one I'm like super enthused about. I would say I'll probably just go with the guy who's been doing it all year in Jaden Daniels because of if he flips out on my bench, I'm going to be pissed. Corollary sort of situation, but like neither one is a must start this week.
So what's your pick there?
Oh, I said Jaden Daniels.
All right. Would you flex James Conner or Gus Edward?
James Conner or Gus Edwards? In zero PPR, I'd rather flex Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards is not as good of a player, but the Falcons allow the fourth most fantasy points to running backs over the last month or so. And no J.K. Dobbins tells me it's going to be a lot of Gus Bus this week. I see people talking about like Kimani Vidal. That's a real deep league play as a desperation, but I would go Gus Bus.
Solid. Putting us to work today. Well, that's why we're here. Sam Darnold, Kirk Cousins, or Anthony Richardson?
Not Kirk Cousins. Chargers defense has been on fire lately. I would go with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold and Anthony Richardson are both like not great matchups. The Cardinals have actually been sneaky very good against quarterbacks, but I bet against Sam Darnold 2 weeks in a row in bad matchups. He came through with like about 16 to 17 PPR points. I'm not PPR points, sorry. 4 point per passing touchdown points. So if you're looking for that kind of floor, I would go with Sam Darnold. If you like got absolutely obliterated on Thursday and you need that upside, I would go with Anthony Richardson. Where if you get 16 or 17, you're going to lose anyways, and you're looking for that like 25, 26, 27 point threshold. So if you're doing well, Darnold. If you're not, I would go with A-Rich. But those are both tough matchups.
Thank you. And Ryan wants to know Herbert or Bo Nix this week.
Herbert or Bo Nix? Herbert. Ooh, I would go Herbert just because of the matchup. I love him going up against Atlanta. Bo Nix is going up against Cleveland. who actually allowed the fewest fantasy points to quarterbacks. I'm sorry, the fifth fewest fantasy points to quarterbacks over the last month. And so, I mean, Bo Nix can buck that trend. But I love the matchup with Justin Herbert. I don't see a world where Justin Herbert leaves my lineup, but Bo Nix is a tough ask.
That's good. Pick one. PPR, Mike Evans, Bucky Irving, or Aaron Jones?
I'm going to go with Bucky this week. I said on the podcast that this is going to be the Bucky Irving week. Last week, he almost had 3 touchdowns. He was right on the precipice of doing that. Both Sean Tucker goal line carries were at the back end of Bucky Irving carrying guys to the 1. So he got rotated out because I'm sure his legs were dead. And both went to Sean Tucker. So I'm going to say in a plus matchup going up against the Panthers in this one, I'm going to go with Bucky Irving. He was almost my boom player of the week, too. So at running back. So I do think he'll have a big game. But you have the opposite issue there, Ryan, of the question above where we're trying to figure out Amari Cooper, Ray McLeod, and MVS. That's a good issue to have. I think it's going to be a lot of Bucky Irving, but Aaron Jones and Mike Evans are also going to have good games. So fingers crossed that Bucky gets those touchdowns.
Fabulous. And Sam Darnold at home versus Arizona, or Matt Stafford on the road at New Orleans?
Walker won't like this answer. Walker has Sam Darnold at 11 and Stafford at 17, but New Orleans is kind of just like playing out the string. They're one of the worst pass defenses since they traded Lattimore. And I know that they're playing tough with what's his face there, the Rizzy, but their talent is not there. Their secondary has been decimated. So I'm going to go with Matthew Stafford in this one. I think Matthew Stafford's going to get 250 and 2 as a floor, and I feel like that's Darnold's ceiling.
Awesome. Would you do Bucky Irving or John Taylor? Jonathan Taylor, I assume.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas?
Yeah.
They're kind of in a tier. I'd go Bucky, which is crazy to say. But the Patriots have actually been playing really well lately against running backs. He actually has the 3rd worst matchup today. James Conner has the worst. Derrick Henry has the 2nd worst, but I'll trust Derrick Henry. And then you've got the Anthony Richardson stealing goal line carry situation. I'm more worried of Anthony Richardson stealing goal line carries than I am Sean Tucker, who fumbled one of his 2 away last week and who can't call his own number.
Awesome. And T-Bills will have us know that the Ray McLeod MVS Westbrook Akini team is on to round 2 of the playoffs in a 96-team tournament.
T-Bills.
96-team
Hey,
tournament.
I didn't say you drafted poorly. That sounds like that is a tough league and one that you've been very active in, because MVS, Nick Westbrook Akine, and Ray McLeod are guys that could potentially fall by the wayside. But Ray McLeod had like 20-something targets in the first few games of the year. MVS has been coming on, and Nick Westbrook Akine, all he does is score touchdowns. So that's a I'm not saying you drafted poorly. I'm saying that sounds like a tough league.
If the Bengals lose today, will they fire Zach Taylor?
No. They'll let Zach Taylor play out the string, I think. The Bengals don't like to fire coaches midway. They don't like to fire coaches, period, because they don't like to pay out their contracts. But yeah. Ooh, that's a hot core. Lamar, Saquon, Achane, and Bowers. That's a core that's been doing lots of crunches, lots of planks, lots of side sits. That's a hot core, baby.
Houston versus Jacksonville, or this is a defense question, obviously. Houston versus Jacksonville, or Washington versus Tennessee?
That's tough because you've got Trevor Lawrence coming back from injury. We don't know what he's going to look like, so that's the matchup play of it for Jacksonville and Houston. Then you've got liable to go bozo mode at any time, Will Levis. I think I'm going to go with the Texans. I know I said BTJ is going to be the boom wide receiver of the week, but I also think that they're going to get to Trevor Lawrence quite a bit today. So that's also something to keep in mind. So I would go with the Texans in this one.
Solid. Trying to get my thing set up here.
That core makes him sweaty. Yeah, it would make me sweaty too. Yowza. Sorry, I'm also setting my lineups for today. I set my lineups on Thursday, and then yesterday I didn't want to do anything because on Thanksgiving I drove to the Santa Cruz Mountains and back, so I was very tired on Friday.
You drove like 6
When I
hours.
was at work. I thought it was going to be 6 hours. It actually ended up being like 5.5. So I was like, okay, I can take that. Oh my God.
There we go. I need to now look at your inactives list that you sent me that I just copy pasted without looking at it, and make sure.
Oh, you were seeing if you had any guys on there?
I always forget to do that. I'm too busy doing this. Okay, I guess I'm good. It's kind of a boring week for outs.
Yeah, it is. There wasn't a lot of like impactful guys, but we're also reaching the time of the year where if somebody's going to be hurt, they're probably just going to go on IR. Because
Yeah.
if you're going to miss 4 games, well, that's the rest of the season. So they're just going to throw you on IR and call it a day.
That makes sense.
Yeah, let's see. I should have played Tua this week. Oh well. Oh well.
Oh yeah. It was a good Tyreek week. Thank goodness.
It was a good time. Man, I've got a tough starter sit in the league that I don't care about this week because I've got Kamara, who's not leaving my lineup. I got Dave Montgomery, who already played, and then I have to decide between Bucky Irving and James Conner. Oh no, poor me. I'm gonna stay with Bucky. All right. How was your Thanksgiving, Evan? What did you get up to?
Successfully accomplished. The big thing about my
Hey.
Thanksgiving is they let me do the turkey, so I love it.
Oh yeah, my father-in-law did he smoked it for I think he said 3 hours, maybe it was 2, and then he sous vide'd it the rest of the way. So he got that smoke flavor without having to worry about dealing with the temperamentality of the smoker.
That's cool. Yeah, I brined mine and injected it and then smoked it, and it was great.
Yeah, he used this amazing citrus rub that this poultry citrus rub that he uses. It's just so good. It's
nice.
Amazing. Yeah. All right. Big week. We got the Ruined asking, need to do so. Need some help in the flex. Taysom Hill, Khalil Shakir, Xavier Legette, or Jeremy McNichols. With Brian Robinson in, Evan, if you could add him to that list. I forgot to add Brian Robinson is in. Jeremy McNichols does lose a lot of his appeal. He does kind of turn into like a shared Austin Ekeler role. So I would move off of him. I would say Khalil Shakir is guaranteed fantasy production every week in PPR. So if you're kind of sitting nicely after Thursday Night Football, I would go with him. And then you have Taysom Hill Chaos Mode, where he exists in his own tier outside of time and space, where if you need a guy that's going to get you 2 fantasy points or 50 fantasy points, that's Taysom Hill. So Evan is silencing me for truth. He turned off my image. I will not be kowtowed
What
like
the
this.
heck?
I will not kowtow to Evan.
How did I do that?
I will not be brought forth in front of the woke mob like this.
How did I do that?
No, I don't know.
On
Well, my image is off. That's fine.
on my
Now I can.
control panel. Oh, I must have no. On my control panel,
Nope,
it shows
I'm
you
back.
live. Okay, there we go.
I'm back. Okay.
All right.
So I would say Khalil Shakir if you need the floor play, and then if you need hey, if I'm gonna lose unless this guy gets 22 PPR points, then I would go with Taysom Hill. Because like I said, he exists outside of time and space in terms of reliability and dependability and what fantasy points he'll score.
Who's going to win, Philadelphia or Baltimore?
I
And
think both teams will have a fun game. I think that I chose Philly. They really impressed me on Thursday or on Monday Night Football last weI'm a known Philadelphia Eagles hater. note the hat, Niners fan. So last week I was really impressed by what they did.
On
So I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
it had to be Sunday night, right?
It must have been Sunday
Okay,
night. It
cool.
was a night game.
Because Baltimore played Monday, and I'm like, am I that old that I can't remember when Baltimore plays?
Nope, I'm that
Scared.
old that I can't remember when the Chargers play. I mean the Chargers, the Rams. Sorry,
Oh,
Rams
that's right.
Eagles was Sunday night football.
How?
Sorry, I got up a little late, so I haven't eaten this morning, so I'm a little
Oh,
I'm starving to death, is what I'm saying.
do you want
I'm
to
gonna die.
Do you want me to vamp while you get food?
No, it's okay. I have no food that I can just grab right now. I would have to cook something, which
Oh.
is why I haven't eaten yet. But I'll be okay.
All right.
Hopefully, I'll survive.
Good luck, the ruined. We are all caught up. Hooray!
All right,
Great for us.
we're all caught up. We could play What's on Jeff's desk, but I've been through everything on my desk. Let's see. We got Quantum Leap box set. We got 3 out of the 4 books of the Earthsea cycle. We got original Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time cart with the blood and the Arabic chanting.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's the original. They Ganondorf, they turned his blood green, and then they changed the I think it's I forget which temple. One of the temples, the one where you have to use the mirrors. I forget which temple it's called though. I think it's wind or air or something. Brock Purdy starting tonight, confirmed. Yeah. Brock Purdy starting tonight. I don't know about that. No Trent Williams, no Nick Bosa. I think it's going to be a bloodbath tonight. I'm not particularly looking forward to watching this game. I might be putting up Christmas lights. I don't know. Let's see what else. What else is on Jeff's desk? We already did Hunter Pence autographed rookie card. Huh? I don't know. I don't have anything to vamp on. So exists outside of time and space. 2 players left and undershot his target. Play Taysom. Yeah, if you want some Taysom shenanigans, that would work. Khalil Shakir is, like I said, more guaranteed fantasy production, but it's your team, buddy. Yeah, we lost my video again.
What am I doing? Okay.
Evan keeps silencing me for truth.
I keep opening a window and OBS. Okay, you should be back momentarily.
Okay, OBS does not like it. Maybe OBS is silencing me.
It happens every time I change the inactives. Like I just moved Brock Purdy. Whatever I do to do
really?
that makes it not. Yeah.
Makes it not work. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just a disembodied voice. I am watching this stream, but it's a little
Cool. We got Jeff back, and now we lost the audio.
delayed, so we'll see. Yeah. So we got any more questions? We got anything? Hey, I'm back. We got anything from the? Oh, I'm on again. There we go. I'm back again. We got anything from the Discord, Evan? Let's see. I'm vamping so that the noise can come back. Blah, blah, blah.
Quarterback, 6-point passing touchdowns, 4 points for an interception. 4 points for an interception.
Oh, Jesus.
I
assume -4.
Russell Wilson at Cincinnati, Geno Smith at New York Jets, Derek Carr versus the Rams, or Brock Purdy at Buffalo.
I would not go Brock Purdy. I would probably say.
Brock Purdy's going to be a pitch count.
Derek Carr and the other 2?
Russell Wilson and Geno Smith.
Geno is okay. So the Jets, I would probably say Geno. The Jets defense is kind of playing out the string. He has the 8th best matchup on the week. So I would go with Geno Smith out of those guys.
Would you pick one? Ramondre Stevenson, Evan Ingram, Jalen Warren, Devon Vele, or Adam Thielen, full PPR?
Evan, I'm going to need you to read those slower.
Sure thing.
That
Full
was-
full PPR. Ramondre Stevenson, Evan
Okay.
Ingram, Jalen Warren, Devon Vele, or Adam Thielen.
I'm going to go Ramondre, then Vele, then Ingram, then Thielen.
Oh,
T-Bills asks, are we rolling with Herbert or Murray at QB? I'm going to go Herbert. Kyler
Yeah.
has the worst matchup of the week.
yeah.
So I'm going to go with Justin Herbert in the second best matchup. Actually, wait, I take it back. I forgot Russell Wilson. I'm going to go Russell Wilson, not Geno. Russell Wilson, not Geno. Russell Wilson, not Geno.
How come?
And then he has the best matchup of the week, the Bengals. Lagging hardcore. That's just how I talk. I
yeah.
talk like a robot.
The lag went away.
Okay. And then so to the previous question, Wilson, not Geno. To this question, Herbert or Murray? Herbert. Yeah, second best matchup. Kyler has the worst matchup of the week against the Vikings.
In my big money league, I have the Vikings defense, and I decided to just leave him in against Kyler Murray.
Yeah, he could go bozo mode. He is a sneaky bozo guy. The over-under on this game is 45 points, which is crazy. Take the under. Both defenses are running hot right now.
What else is going on? I hope 49ers and Buffalo is a good game because it's on primetime.
I hope it is too, but I'm not bullish. Thursday night football will be a good game. It's Packers Lions both with the full week of rest, so it's not like a true Thursday night football like chaos mode game.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Thursday night football will be. I'm looking forward to Thursday night football more so than any game this week, I would say. See the schedule next week. Niners, Bears, Chargers, Chiefs. Bills, Rams should be a fun game next week. 125 game, so nobody has to watch Bears, Niners.
Yes, and I have successfully stopped my son from walking past the camera in his boxers. So
Yeah,
good job,
boy.
me. Play of the day.
Good job, Evan, not getting us demonetized.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. All right. Oh, T-Bills has an ugly QB situation. Derek Smith. No, that's not a guy. How about Geno Smith?
Wait. Who is Derek Smith?
Derek Smith versus Geno Carr. Nailed it. All right. Derek Smith. Words.
Smith.
How do they work? Yes, that guy. Geno Smith, Derek Carr, Bryce Young, Will Levis. Oh, my God.
Who would I start and who would win in hand-to-hand combat? Let's start with the second question. Will Levis would win in hand-to-hand combat. Bryce Young's 5'8". Derek Carr feels like he would talk a big game, and then the second he got punched in the nose, he would start to cry. Geno Smith, he has a chip on his shoulder. I think he would be scrappy, but I'm gonna go with Will Levis because I don't think Will Levis can feel pain. So
Also,
we'll get
Geno
the
Smith.
hand-to-hand combat question. out of
Geno
the way.
Smith cannot take a punch. We've seen it.
I forgot we do have confirmed
Yes.
documentation of Geno Smith's ability to take a punch.
Yeah. All right.
As for the actual question, who would I start this week? I would go with Geno. Will Levis can fall apart at any time. The Commanders have been actually pretty good on defense lately. And then Bryce Young is actually he's been playing well, but it's like a neutral matchup. And like I said, Derek Carr against the Rams. I think that the Rams are going to get lots of sackaroonies today, as Nick Bosa would say. And yeah, I forgot that he got his IK Inik was the name of the guy who broke his jaw. That's the only reason anybody remembers him.
Wow.
Oh man, I forgot. And it was because Gino owed him like $600 or something.
Yeah.
Crazy small.
A flight.
He wanted he wanted reimbursement for like a flight, just one flight. And this guy's like a practice squatter, and Gino's making, starting quarterback money. Oh my god.
So you like CJ Stroud. Would you go so far as to start him over Josh Allen?
No. I would not do that. It's going to be a good game for CJ Stroud. But again, I am not bullish about the 49ers' chances to stop anybody today. So I would go with Josh Allen there.
Yeah, don't get cute.
I just found $700 in my DFS lineup for Waleed's. Ooh, here we go. I'm gonna go. I cleared up enough space to put Taysom Hill in my flex. That's some real chaos mode stuff.
In your flex.
Yeah, in Waleed's DraftKings lineup, which we should actually probably be dropping in the chat, because every weekend we do a DraftKings contest. It's just $1. It's just for fun. But it's mostly just me winning. I would like somebody else to win, please. Let's see. You know, I'm gonna go Taysom Hill chaos mode. Let's do it. All right. My lineup in that league. Are we ready for it?
Yes.
We got DJ Stroud. We got pairing him with Nico Collins. Then I've got Chuba Hubbard and Bucky Irving. Drake London, Brian Thomas. I went cheap at tight end with Pat Freiermuth. Bengals are a good matchup this week. I think they're the second best matchup on the slate. Yeah, second best matchup on the slate. Then Gus Bus, pretty cheap there. And then I'm going cheap with Vikings DST. Oops, nope. I wanted to go Rams DST. Why did I go Vikings? I wanted to go Rams. Rams DST is... Oh, that's weird. It didn't save the Rams, so that's why I had all that extra money. And then I'm going to go Taysom Hill, Chaos Mode. It didn't actually save my lineup changes. That's what happened. Assign lineup. Assign lineup. There we go. Perfect. So I got CJ Stroud, Chuba Hubbard, Bucky Irving, Nico Collins, Drake London, Brian Thomas, Pat Freiermuth, Taysom Hill, and the Rams. And I know Taysom Hill and the Rams doesn't make a whole lot of sense together, but I think that the Rams are going to feast on Derek Carr, and then Taysom Hill Chaos Mode takes over. Kills the last hour of your workday. T-Bills, what is your schedule? Or are you one of our over-the-pond folks?
I suspect so. We have a lot of those. We have also a lot of people in India.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. They give great cricket advice.
Well, first of all, AK is not in India, but he gives great cricket advice.
That's true.
I met him. I was in the presence of the magic, and I felt it. And he's gonna be on the podcast this summer to talk cricket.
Awesome.
East Coast work at a hospital, 4:45 to 1:30. Damn, that's crazy. I have a nurse friend who has that kind of schedule, and it's nuts. It's nuts because we'll be doing something and she'll be like, okay, well, I got to go to work. It's like the middle of the day. It's like, what?
That's hard. My body would not adjust well to that.
No, I'm an early guy. I used to go 4:45 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. I think it was. That was the most I'll do. We got a couple more questions. JSN or Jawan Jennings? I'm gonna go JSN. Like JSN's might be ascending to being the wide receiver 1 there. With Brock Purdy questionable, not questionable to play, but questionable to play well. I would say that I would go with JSN there. And what does Debo's performance look like today? I don't know, man. Debo had 2 balls go through his hands on Thursday, so I'm not super excited to play Debo pretty much at all. So I would say he's probably I would rather start Jennings and JSN over him, to give you an idea.
Having ear issues. I was watching the Tetris. I was watching the Tetris World Championships, and the Tetris, the game Tetris, and
I've heard of it.
And
I've won a few Tetris 99 games in my day.
And it cuts to commercial, and all the commercials were like bathtubs, body wash, deodorant, shampoo, and I'm like, man, go wash yourselves, Tetris players.
Question in the chat: Stafford over Stroud? I would go Stroud.
I would
in that one. CJ Stroud was my boom quarterback of the week.
Yeah, Jacksonville is a great matchup.
Jacksonville, I think they're 1 against quarterbacks, 2 against wide receivers, or they're 1 against quarterbacks on the season, 2 against running backs, 3 against wide receivers, and 6 against tight ends on the year.
And that's including that Minnesota game where they had like 4 field goals. And that was it.
Yeah.
That wasn't enough to change it. Oh, okay. We got a bunch of questions coming in. Great. ETN, let me see. ETN, Elijah Moore, Devon Vele. Pick 2. ETN, Elijah Moore, Devon Vele. Bench 1.
Okay, so DeVonta Smith is not looking to play. So the corollary to that is if D. Smith doesn't play. So benching 1, I would probably, honestly, bench. I want to say Travis Etienne. It's been a bad year for him with and without Trevor Lawrence. You got Tank Bigsby eating into things. He's just been struggling this year. Actually, you know what? No, I'm getting cute. Start ETN, start Elijah Moore, bench Devon Bailey. I'm not gonna let Walker infect my brain. Travis Etienne has guaranteed touches there against Houston. It might be a garbage time situation where he gets a cheap touchdown. Elijah Moore, the Broncos are just going to put Patrick Surtain in Jerry Jeudy's back pocket. Like, he's going to follow Jerry Jeudy to the sidelines. Like, he's going to sit on the bench next to him. They're going to put him on Jerry Jeudy. So that means that you can attack them with Elijah Moore. He has been playing outside when Cedric Tillman hasn't been playing. So I dug up some slot numbers, and those are kind of went right out the window. But I do like Elijah Moore to get a ton of cheap PPR points. Also, Jerome Ford to get some cheap PPR points in that league. Broncos allow the second most receptions to running backs in the league.
Patrick Surtain is going to be on Jerry duty. All right, we got another one here. Would you trade 2 of your second rounders in the Dynasty League for Kamara? 2025 and 2026 second rounders. 12-team league.
Would I trade 2 to get Alvin Kamara?
Yes.
Oh no, it says Kamara's team is in last place with no hope. So I'm trading for Kamara, paying 2 second rounders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do that if I'm in contention. Alvin Kamara is going to get a bunch of targets. You're only looking at like a 2-year window with Kamara left, basically. I think that Alvin Kamara plays well this year. A lot of PPR production. I think next year he maybe takes a step back, and then I think in a few years I don't think he has much value. You are trading for a declining asset. However, you are trading 2 picks that are going to be in a window where he can still help you. So if you're in contention, I would trade those 2 seconds for Alvin Kamara. Absolutely, I would do that.
Jackson Smith and Jigba or Terry McLaurin?
JSN or Scary Terry? I would say JSN. I've talked about it a couple times. The Washington offense has been like sneaky bad lately. I asked if it was playing Philadelphia and Pittsburgh back to back, which they did, which have been tough pass defenses. And then the Cowboys shut them down for about 58 minutes until the Cowboys forgot how to tackle. And then don't forget that he also wasn't having a good game till the Bears just decided to be very stupid. So sneaky, not great lately. Sneaky, not great lately. Jaden Daniels. And so because of that, Scary Terry, I'm not impressed. So I would go JSN here.
Solid. Bo Nix versus Cleveland or Baker Mayfield at Carolina?
I'm going to go Baker. You're going to want to pick on the Panthers, like every single possibility. Like I said, Kate Otten has a top 2 matchup on the week against them. Bucky Irving is my boom running back of the week. He was almost my boom running back of the week. So a lot of passing production there. Mike Evans, they're going to get him going to get him that 1,000 yards this year. So I would go with Baker over Bo Nix in this one, but both are like top 5, top 6 plays this week.
Noted. Who would you start at tight end? Need upside. Well, Taysom Hill or Kate Otten?
If you need upside, it's Taysom Hill.
Yes.
I mean,
And
Taysom Hill's upside is, the ending of Mean Girls. It's the limit does not exist.
yes. K. Dotton or Gus Edwards? PPR.
I would go K. Dotton. Like I keep
Interesting.
saying, K. Dotton has a top matchup this week. Out of like guys that have already played, if you strip out those guys, he does have the best matchup of the week by a decent margin. He is also my boom tight end of the week. Walker also has him tight end 3. Taysom Hill tight end 4 for Walker this week.
So you're not impressed with Edwards even though Dobbins is out?
I wouldn't say that I'm not impressed with Edwards. Also think that with PPR, it does diminish his upside just because he doesn't catch passes. Like, that's just not a part of his game. And it's funny because it's like, oh, well, he didn't pass catches with Baltimore. Maybe he'll do it with the Chargers. So it's like, well, he has literally the exact same OC. So I don't think they'll be deploying him any differently. So I would go with K-Dot in there. If you need an upside, Taysom Hill is unlimited upside. Then K-Dot and then Gus Edwards. K-Dot over Gus Edwards because of the PPR aspect of it.
Interesting. Pie or cake?
What kind of pie? What kind of cake?
Apple and chocolate.
Oh, you picked the lowest ceiling, apple pie? Come on. So I'll go with cake in that situation. If we're talking pumpkin and like vanilla cake or like funfetti, then I'm going cake. I'm sorry, I'm going pie. But chocolate versus apple, I mean that's a no doubter.
Excuse me.
My wife for Thanksgiving made a crustless pecan pie, and it was basically because she and her mom are both gluten free, and the gluten free crust sucked. So it was basically like she just poured pecans and maple syrup into a dish. I was like, there you go.
About to make a crustless pecan. I'm gonna make a crustless pumpkin pie. It's just a big old pile, like
Yeah,
filling.
I saw a pretty good prank, which was instead of pumpkin pie, put refried beans in there and then just cover it with like pumpkin pie spice so it masks it. I thought that was a pretty good prank. We got a question from Peepos in the chat. TJ Hawkinson, Cade Otton, or Jeremy McNichols. So with Brian Robinson playing, Jeremy McNichols' upside excitement goes out the window for me. He's going to be like a Austin Ekeler split situation with Chris Rodriguez, who sucks, by the way. And then you've got Hawkinson versus Otton. Otton's my boom tight end of the week. I keep saying it. Best matchup for tight ends today. You've got Cleveland playing tomorrow, but I don't know. I literally don't know who Denver has at tight end. I don't know if it's still Alberto. Greg Dulcich got picked up off of waivers. And then Noah Gray and Travis Kelce already played, so they're out the window. So Cade Otton with the best matchup of the week at tight end. I would go with him.
Oh my God! Somebody just dove posted in the thread. I thought
they posted Dove.
No, Dove Kleiman. We have a no.
So we're talking.
Is it Dove?
No Dove.
No Dove posting.
I think it's Dove, and it's Adam Troutman is the tight end there.
I thought I put in an extension that makes it so you can't post his tweets because he just makes stuff up occasionally.
Oh yeah, he makes stuff up. Also, he's in love with Jennifer Lawrence in a very weird way. Look it up. Peebo says they're scared because Otton got like 3 targets and he dropped 2 passes. It looks like he's on his way out. That was a weird game last week, where they just kind of beat the hell out of the Giants, and the way that they did that was with rushing. Like they had two goal line rushing touchdowns. It was a weird game. I would not worry too much about Cade Otton. He's a top 3 passing weapon for Baker Mayfield this week, who has one of the best matchups in the league. So I understand your trepidation, but I'm going right back to him this week. And if he falters, then we have a worry about it. I like to say nothing's a trend until it happens twice.
Bears are thinking of interviewing Cliff Kingsbury for their head coaching job.
I would not do that if I were the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, which means they'll do it.
Unless they'll go with Cliff Kingsbury until like mid-October, and then he'll be forced to turn over his play calling duties, so that the traditional Cliff fall off does not happen.
Yeah, as people figure him out and he does not adjust.
Well, yeah, and I mean we talked about it a couple weeks ago with Quinyon Mitchell on the Eagles, who, by the way, incredible defensive back draft for the Eagles. I wanted the Niners to get Cooper DeJean, but they did not. They got Ricky Pearsall instead. But Quinyon Mitchell was on Terry McLaurin for 80% of snaps. Quinyon Mitchell did not follow Terry McLaurin, which means Terry McLaurin lined up in the exact same spot for 80% of his snaps.
Huh.
That's why Cliff Kingsbury offenses fall apart. You don't have to prepare for a lot of stuff.
Huh.
There's a very limited number of things that they do.
That is a bad use of Terry McLaurin's skill set.
Yeah.
You want him in motion.
By the way, Derek Smith, Evan, was an American professional basketball player who won a national championship with the Louisville Cardinals in 1980 and spent 9 years in the NBA.
Okay, now who was Gino Carr?
Gino Carr?
Yeah.
I don't know, an Italian automaker.
Oh.
Gino Carr, actor, singer, director, educator. Gino's varied career as an actor, singer, director, and educator, amazing opportunities. Original Broadway cast of Come From Away. He's traveled to 49 states and 31 countries. But you got to knock off 50, dog. If you get to 49, like, it looks like you're slacking at that point.
Pick 2, half PPR. Devontae Adams, T. Higgins, or James Conner? Pick 2.
T. Higgins is a must out of those two. And then I will go with... Who are the Jets playing? The Jets are playing... I had it here. Jets are playing. Why did I forget? Oh, the Seahawks. I'll go T. Higgins and Devontae Adams.
T. Higgins.
That's tough though.
And
That's
Devontae
really tough. James Conner
Adams.
just has a bad matchup. Yeah.
I was watching the ESPN Fantasy Football show, and they had Daniel Day Kim, who played Jin on Lost, on for like an hour. That dude knows.
Why?
He knew stuff. He's clearly a fantasy football head because he was just going listing backups and listing options and listing players. He knew his stuff. It was impressive.
Somebody who knows their stuff on the ESPN show. I guess there's a first time for everything.
Yes, it did stand out. It
Yeah.
did stand out.
Also, it's funny. James Roday of Psych, huge fantasy football head.
Interesting.
As well as what was the guy in the Thing You Do?
Tom Hanks.
The other guy, Tom Everett Scott. He's also a huge fantasy football head.
Interesting.
Also, official recommendation. Speaking of Tom Everett Scott, I'm sorry. It's only like 15 episodes. It's I believe it's on Netflix right now. No, it's on Hulu right now. Absolutely fantastic show, hilarious. Andrea Savage is so funny.
Evan Ingram
right,
or Taysom Hill?
Again, Taysom Hill exists outside of time and space. So if you need just like chaos mode, I would go Taysom Hill. If you need guaranteed fantasy points, I would go with Evan Ingram. The Jags are playing the Panthers, so the Panthers are a team that you can just buzzsaw against. But Rizzy said that he wants to get Taysom Hill going like he did before, so we'll see if Taysom Hill just goes just out of control again this week.
Debo or Shakir?
Khalil Shakir. It's a PPR league, correct?
It doesn't say.
If it's a PPR league, it's Shakir by a wide margin. If it's a non-PPR league, it is closer, but I would still go with Khalil Shakir. Something's not right in San Francisco. A lot of things are not right in San Francisco. And
It
so
is
I'm not
PPR.
going
It is PPR.
Okay, then Khalil Shakir by a decent margin. He should get 6 or 7 catches today.
Okay, this is a full PPR and tight end premium league. Full PPR tight end premium. Pick one running back and two flexes. Aaron Jones, Gus Edwards, Ramondre Stevenson, nailed it. Taysom Hill, Darnell Mooney.
Darnay Mooney.
I'm messing it up. Like,
yeah, dude, you're crushing it. I'm gonna go with Aaron Jones. Ramondre Stevenson's been weirdly not all that involved lately, even though Ramondre does have a slightly better matchup against running backs. I'm gonna go with Aaron Jones. That is how the Cardinals have been played against lately, or defeated lately, is with running backs. So I'm gonna go with Aaron Jones, specifically pass catching running backs there. So that's your running back there. PPR, I'm gonna move off of Gus Edwards there. So that kind of leaves me with two guys, Taysom Hill and Darnell Mooney. Now, Taysom Hill, it's going to sound weird that he gets diminished in a PPR, but that's because he's throwing passes and running the football. But I would go with Taysom Hill over Ramondre, and then because of the full PPR aspect, and the tight end premium, I would take him over Gus Edwards. Darnell Mooney, I think it's just due for a bounce back game this week. The Falcons are allowing I'm sorry, not the Falcons. The Chargers are allowing the fourth most fantasy points to wide receivers over the last 5 weeks.
Peebles is going to gamble with Hawkinson. Yeah, over whatever's in the waiver wire. Yeah, pick the one with the huge upside.
You kept Hawkinson for 9 weeks. You might as well keep him going.
That's a good point. What else? Let's go to our fantasy football absurdity Discord.
We have a question for Amari Cooper or
Jalen
Warren. And I would probably go Jalen Warren in that one. Taysom or Kittle. Again, a lot of Taysom questions that I feel like we should just put a thing at the top. Taysom Hill has the ultimate upside, but could get you 2 points. If you need guaranteed points, I would go with George Kittle. If you need that, I can flip out and score you 25 fantasy points. It is going to be Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill exists completely separately from like the rest of the ranks.
Interesting. We have had a lot of pop-ins. That's nice. A lot of unique chatters. Yeah. Awesome. What else? We got 2 minutes. If you're just now waking up, get in here and we'll give you an answer.
Oh, man. 2 minutes? Oh, it's time for 506 Sports Check. Let's say who's going to be on the secondary TV. Chargers, Atlanta. Oh, boy. And Arizona at Minnesota for me. And then Philly, Baltimore in the afternoon. Yay.
Yeah, Philly.
All right. Calvin Ridley, Garrett Wilson, or Terry McLaurin in full PPR. Ooh. I would go Garrett Wilson. Out of those three, I would go Garrett Wilson, Calvin Ridley, Terry McLaurin. But it's Garrett Wilson by a decent stretch.
Colts defense or the Bucks defense? Colts are playing New England.
Colts.
Oh.
Bucks are playing Carolina.
That's a good choice to have.
Ooh, boy. Can I pontificate for a minute and punt on answering this question? I would say I'll go with Bucks defense.
I would overwhelmingly go Bucks defense.
All right, there you go.
New England seems to have more managed offense. Carolina can easily go full bozo if they aren't there already.
All right. We have hit the 10 o'clock window.
Good luck, everybody.
Thanks to you, Bill. Good luck to your Bills. I don't think they'll need it. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. I won't be here next week. It's going to be the Bears at the Niners, so I'm not here for Niners home games.
I'll see if we can break out Tony Martin to fill in for you.
Yeah. What was it? Starting with Martin. That's what it was.
Sitting or starting with Tony Martin.
Yeah, and then that's it. I'll be here for the rest of the year.
Oh,
so
awesome.
I'll just be missing that game. Yeah, because Niners' next 2 home games are Thursday and Monday. So
cool.
I'll be here for the rest of the year.
Cool. Good, because it's going to pick up. It picked up today.
Yeah, so let's go, baby. Good luck, everybody.
You are all welcome. And goodbye.